Hello, my name's Justin, and I've been working on this project for a couple of years now, and I thought it was time to do an update summary video to keep you all up to date with progress. So the project is called Zero DCC, and it's a digital command control interface for the Hornby Zero system that was built in the 1980s. And it's based on the wonderful work of the dcc-ex team. Open source, great community, and fantastic support from the development team for a whole variety of projects, including this one, which I've been working on to use the Hornby Zero as a throttle to control DCC-based locomotives. So as you can see, it's a small module, very similar to the micro-mimic console, and a LCD screen to provide some additional detail and provide an electronic replacement for the old standard manual consoles. So the idea here is that we can continue using the Hornby Zero signal to control accessories and lighting, and in fact the micro-mimic panel and console, but not the track. So the track is now converted completely to DCC, and as you may know, with the dcc-ex platform, not only do you get DCC control, but there's also now an option for DC 12-volt control as well. But no support for the Hornby Zero system on the track once you do this. So all of my locos are either DC or have a DCC chip in it. But you can run the advanced functions. So you can run lights and you can run sound. And if you've got smoke fitted, I don't, you can run any accessory that DCC supports. So the philosophy I've taken is to use the accessory codes 90 through 99 to send configurations to the Zero DCC system. So you can't use accessory 90 through 99 anymore. I've used those as configurations, but you can use accessory 1 through 89 for whatever you wish. So, for example, function 90, instead of controlling an accessory now, controls the configuration of the Zero interface. So if we type in, for example, function 90, on the screen, you'll see that we've currently got a DCC arrangement. On track A is the main DCC signal, and track B is program. But I can change that to be track A being DCC main, and track B being a DC 12-volt signal answering to cab number 999. Or I can change it again and make it completely DC, which is not working for some reason. There we go. So track A is now DC 12-volt, answering to cab number 999, and track B is now DC reverse polarity, answering to cab number 998. But I will in fact go back to my DC configuration. And as you can see, track power is off, and through function 90 we can turn track power on, like so. And you can probably hear my steam loco chuffing away in the background with the power on. So function number 90 allows you to configure your Zero to do whatever you wish. Function 91 is an interesting function. It allows you to use the DCC program track to program your DCC locomotive module and its cab number. Doesn't do anything else, just programs the cab number. I don't really recommend it because you don't get any feedback from the Zero keys, and so it is a bit tricky to use, but it is possible. Function 92 is around, normally function phase 2 of Zero was using accessories. At this stage, I haven't implemented anything around that. The accessories work as you would expect, 1 through 89. But potentially in the future, we could use function 92 to expand into the DCC accessories beyond 100, for example. Phase 3, so function 93, is of course around the micro-mimic display, and at this stage I don't have any particular functions associated with that, but as I've mentioned, the micro-mimic does actually work alongside your normal 01 controls for accessories. Function 94 for the moment, I'm leaving, but as you might know, there was a plan back in the 80s for phase 4 of 01 to be around use of a light pen on the micro-mimic. There's lots of chatter about it, but I haven't been able to get that to work as yet, but maybe in the future. Function 95, again, one of the plans in the 80s was for function 95 to allow you to set a route up and control your trains through a program. And in fact, I've got a function 95 that works like that. It doesn't use a light pen, but it does allow you to record the actions on your 01 as you've used them, and then play it back. So it's not the same as the dcc-ex X-rail arrangements, which is a really advanced feature. But what it does do is record your keystrokes and the time between changes, and we'll play that back in real time. You do need to be careful though, so locos and their maintenance, of course, can change some of the timing, so you do need to be careful with it, but it works, function 95. Function 96 allows us to change the configuration of our loco assignments. So as you know, in 01, you've got locos 1 through 16, and that's all you get. And you can see at the bottom of the screen there, we've got loco 1 in slot 1, loco 2 in slot 3. But what we can do is use function 96, for example, and make maybe slot 1 loco 999. So we can program that in, and voila. Now loco 1 in the Hornby 01 system, it has cab number 999. And for example, if we're using that for our DC, you could then control your DC train. So function 96 allows you to reassign the loco numbers. So you're not stuck to 1 to 16. You can use any of the DCC numbers, and obviously most people align their DCC cab numbers to the model number. So in my case, my steam loco is 936. So function 97 allows you to actually record a whole range of these cab assignments. So if I pull up function 97 and I change the configuration, watch the screen, and you'll see now it's changed to my normal cab assignments. So loco 1 is now my steam loco, DCC cab number 639. Loco number 2 is another steam loco of mine, cab number 707. Loco number 3 is one of my diesels, number 37, etc. And so you can have multiple groups of 16. In fact, you can have 16 groups of 16 at the moment in this system under function 97. So you might decide that you'll have 16 groups of steam locos, or 16 groups of diesels, or 16 groups of your 1920s era locos, for example. You can program it however you like. But as you can see, I've got my steam loco there, cab number 369. So it's loco 1. Now that's handy to know because function 98 starts to get into some of the DCC functions. So if we go function 98, it allows us a quick access to the whistle and light. So if I go from function 97 and choose loco 1, when I press the right arrow, we'll hear the whistle. There we go. Now if I press the left button, we'll get the light coming on. I can turn the light off, I can turn it back on again, and I can toot the whistle. Now as it happens, the diesel sitting next to it is loco number 7. So if I type in number 7, and I can turn on its light, and I can sound its horn, all through the 01 controller. So that's function 98, allows us to control just the light and the whistle. But if you want to control all functions, then we can use accessory 99, choose the loco, and then choose any of the 28 functions on your DCC chip. But as you can see, I've got lights and sound now operating on these two locos. So why don't we give this a bit of a try? So I've got 639, my Steam loco is assigned to loco 1, and we'll just make sure the controller 1's looking after loco 1, and we can move it forward using the throttle on the 01, change direction and move it back. In fact, what we'll do is we'll go for loco number 7 in controller number 2, and so now we can move my diesel loco with a small move of the controller here. And again, we can go back into function 98, choose loco 7 and sound its horn, turn its light off or on. We can go to loco number 1, sound the whistle, turn its light back on again. Oh, okay, its light won't go on because of course it's in reverse. So we'll put it back into forward, we'll turn the light back on, and away we go. You can hear the generator firing up, and there we are. So that's a quick overview of where we are now with the Zero DCC concept. What you probably didn't notice, of course, is on the screen, if we look at loco 1, so 639, as I turn the throttle up, you'll notice that we get the arrows indicating the direction and speed. And then I can put it in reverse, and you'll notice the arrows have reversed, and again we get an indication of speed. We can do the same with our diesel loco as well. You see, remember, it's loco number 7, so even though it's on controller number 2, because it's loco number 7, that's where it will appear on the screen. And again, we can reverse it and send it back in the other direction. So there you go, that's the summary update on the Zero DCC system that I've been working on for the last couple of years. Hope you've enjoyed that, and I hope to bring you some more updates soon.